when I see agents sitting down, if you see somebody coming to the door, you need to get up like it's a retail store. If you've ever been in a store where they're just looking at their phone, you're like, hello. The most important thing that you can do is greet them at the door. So if you see a car pull up, get off your ass and go to the door. And like, it's going to catch them off guard a little bit. But if you've ever gone to a party and when you go to the party, you don't know anyone but the host, and you're looking for the host and you're like, I don't know who I introduce myself to. This is awkward. I just need to find Matt, my host here. It's the same way at open houses. They don't know if they should wear booties, what they should do. So they're coming in and you immediately greet them at the door and you're enthusiastic and you say, hi, Matt, or well, I don't know your name now. Hi, I'm Dustin Fox. You shake their hand. You just put your hand out there. I have food here in the kitchen, make yourself at home, but hey, don't worry about booties or anything. Keep your shoes on, come on in. And before you start the conversation, what you don't want to do, and this is what 95% of the agents do, is they say, all right, after that point, they say, all right, let me know if you have any questions. That's like the go-to.
The kiss of death, yeah.
The kiss of death. And it was the same thing when I used to manage Pottery Barn, is the associates would say that, and I would say, the best enthusiasm sells. The best way to be enthusiastic is intimate knowledge of your subject. So you need to know this house like the back of your hand. If you're hosting somebody else's open house and you need to have like 5 things that you're excited about, I like to say, show them the warts, admit one bad thing. So I will say, hey, guy, and I'll kind of whisper it to them. I'll say, hey, first thing I would do in this house between you and I, here's the abridged version, is I would lose these floors. Like they got to go. But the positives are the roof, windows, and AC were all replaced in the last year. So this is just like the floors. I could get somebody in here and do this for like $2,500. It would not be expensive, but the roof, windows, and AC, you're talking $50K plus just for that. So like this house has so much value in it. And you immediately earn their trust by telling them a negative and then hitting them with all the positives. So you kind of have to have that in your arsenal. Now, if your clients have Ring cameras in there, they may not like that. Or you need to kind of own that with them before you do it. Because a lot of them have these cameras laying around.
And just blame it on the neighbors. Like between you and me, like the guy next door, he's got some, I'm not crazy about living next door to that guy, but he's moving out soon. Blame it on the neighbor.
Yeah, and then they do things like, agents will do things like, they'll see what we're doing with food trucks and catered open houses, and then they'll call me and they'll say, Dustin, I did this, but like nobody showed up. And I'm like, well, who'd you invite? And they're like, oh, I put it in the MLS. I'm like, where'd you put it? And they're like, in the open house notes. I'm like, well, that doesn't go to the portal sites. You have to literally change the public listing description to like the first line to say, catered open house Friday, Saturday, Sunday, food truck Sunday, 12 to 2. And you're going to have to change that each week that you have something. Right. And then you need to send a letter. Like we use a third-party service called Zairmail, ZAIRMAIL. There's a promo code, I think PC101 Plus, that might save a little bit. But what it does is it'll send white envelope with a first-class stamp like letter. You can make it on Fiverr, your open house invite. You're inviting the neighbors into the food truck or catered open house. And the reason why I prefer that over a postcard is your mail's object is to get open. So if you don't have a lot of money and all you have is the sweat equity, then handwrite those envelopes and they're going to get open a lot more. But no business affiliation on the corner. You're going to be tempted to want to put like your stamp or your brand. You don't want to do any of that stuff. It just needs to be your return address. That's it. And a first-class stamp, don't go cheap and go like indicia, but you need to get the neighbors into the open house.